Well, howdy, race fans. It's been a hot minute since we last streamed here on Jakester Shows Racing here on YouTube. And tonight we've got quite a treat for everyone. In the booth with me, none other than James here for the call.
Hey guys.
And the annual Loser League makes its way back. I know that sounds like a terrible way to explain it. So the All for One 1W series. All the drivers here, past NASCAR Cup racers that have not won a race yet, trying to get their first W. And last year it was pretty exciting, wouldn't you say so, James?
Yeah, I'd say it was a pretty good race last year.
And we got to see Jeffrey Earnhardt right off into the sunset. So another Earnhardt with a win to their name. Obviously not, not in real life canon, but in the universe here through NR2003, he's able to retire a winner. So 42 more cars here tonight, and we're going back in time. It's going to be at 1980s Atlanta, where the finish line's actually on the other side of the track. Front row, it looks like we've got Coo Coo Marlin, who is the new driver that was just added to the circuit here to
Yeah, I was just gonna
replace.
say Coo Coo Marlin got voted in.
Right. So that's an impressive start. You get on the pole position already. So when Ben Arnold there in the 76, Matt DiMenedetto and Mike Skinner, both these drivers have raced within the at least last decade, I'd say. Skinner's been maybe
It
2
might be two
decades.
for. I was gonna say it might be two for my.
Friday Hassler is an interesting one. He's way back in the 70s of the Grand National Series. And then Landon Castle there. Country musician Marty Robbins alongside Wally Dallenbach Jr. Many of you probably know Dallenbach from being on the TNT broadcasts recently. Then we got team owner Richard Childress alongside Adam Petty. David Gilliland, not Todd Gilliland, as Todd Gilliland could still potentially get a Cup win sometime in his career, alongside Rick Wilson. Jeff Green and J.J. Yaley. Hut Strickland and Buddy Arrington. Kenny Irwin and Joe Ruttman. Brad Teague and Dick Trickle. Sam Hornish Jr. and Danica Patrick. That's kind of fitting, having the two IndyCar standouts right aside each other there. Corey's dad, Randy LaJoy, alongside Scott Wimmer. Buckshot Jones and Reed Sorensen. Jason Leffler and Max Pappas. Todd Bodine and Rick Mast. Parker Kligerman, who actually still makes starts nowadays, but I don't think he's made a Cup start recently. He's been running mostly
trucks and
in Xfinity.
Xfinity.
Yeah. And then you got Scott Riggs there, whose kid is also racing the Xfinity Series nowadays.
Yeah, he'll be making a full-time. Actually, no, he just announced that he'll be doing a full-time deal with Front Row for the trucks here.
Nice.
His Lane did.
So yeah, Lane Riggs might see something out of him here, maybe potentially getting up to the Cup Series before you know it. And then we have Jimmy Means and Ryan's dad, Dave Blaney. It's kind of interesting how many of the dads we have in here. Seems like once you're the second or third generation, that the further down the family tree, the more successful they've become over.
Yeah, must be something in the blood.
Yeah. And then we got Chad Little, whose son actually, Jesse Little, had attempted to get into NASCAR, but has since retired from racing action, alongside Jack Sprague. Brendan Gaughan and JD McDuffie. Josh Wise and Hermie Sadler. And then at the very, very back, we've got Michael Annett and Kirk Shelmerdine. So we'll be going live here for the Atlanta Journal 500. The Atlanta Journal 500 used to be the Cup Championship finale long before Phoenix, long before Homestead was our championship closer. So it's kind of neat to do a throwback to what used to be the championship, or the season ending race. And for all you tuning in, the ratings on the drivers are based off of the actual driver ratings from the years they ran, so it really makes for a mixed bag of what kind of racing we're going to see here today.
I feel like maybe next year we should figure out a way to figure out which year was their best year and try to get those ratings for everybody.
How did you go about doing the ratings? Did you have driver names tied to your N ratings account?
No. I don't actually know.
Oh, okay.
I've never actually done that. I've always manually set them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I know there is a way to do it that way, where it grabs from like
past years and stuff.
Yeah, like it'll grab from past years and like it uses racing reference.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was having trouble figuring out how to go back and set them based on their actual. So I had to manually put in Coo Coo Marlin's, which actually gave him pole position, but it looks like he's struggling here at the start.
Hassler isn't, though.
Friday Hassler is an interesting case here. I mentioned interesting case when I was going through the driver lineup. He technically was part of a race win. And the only reason he is credited with not winning the race is he had never started the race. So based on NASCAR's rule book, if you start the race, you are
credited with the win.
Yep. And so Friday Hassler came in to recover or give break to the winning driver of Glotzback back in 1970 at the fastest race in NASCAR history because it was caution-free at Bristol.
Huh.
So, and the record will stand forever as long as stage racing exists because the race only lasted like an hour and a half at Bristol. There wasn't a single caution to slow it down. And race pace, yeah, that was the fastest race. I believe it was the Volunteer 500 at Bristol in 1970, if anyone wanted to look that up. But also the interesting facade of that, having Hassler pull the car into victory lane, but not being credited with a win. So honestly, if there's anyone that had a win stolen from him or deserves a win, it would be Friday Hassler. Looks like the old guys getting it up here in the front. Marty Robbins, Richard Childress, and Ben Arnold. All of them had been racing 1970s or further back. Yes, yeah, he did caution free. It was said to have been a very grueling race at Bristol, and swapped out and still won the race for the team. Looks like we've got a caution already here. Only Handful of laps into this one. 7 laps in. Rick Mast running at the back of the field here perhaps is the cause for caution. Looks like the two Ricks, Rick Wilson and Rick Mast, get into it. Ooh, and Rick Mast really got the worst end of that by getting dumped, put into the wall.
Rick on Rick violence.
It's like Rick and Morty, Rickception or something going on.
Yeah. Rick Mast definitely getting the rougher end of the deal there.
Looks like he's going to be able to continue on.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just surface damage, nothing really major.
So I wanted to look up and see who Glotzback was racing for back in that 1970, perhaps it was 1969. I could be mistaken there.
I was looking for it for a little bit there until that caution came out, but I couldn't seem to find it.
It's because I had my stats a little bit skewed. It was the 1971 Volunteer 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. And the most laps led of the 500 laps contested, Charlie Glotzback's car led 411 laps and was a team known as Howard and Edgerton Racing. So not really sure that they would amount to much. They have a red link here on Wikipedia for Howard and Edgerton Racing, so they weren't very relevant past 1970s, it seems.
Could have been one of those one-off cars.
Yeah, so based on the race report, 30 American-born drivers compete. Oh shoot, I forgot to turn on better cautions. It wouldn't be the same without better cautions. Shut up, Malware Bytes. Oh, fuck you, Malware. Pardon the language, but just deleted my better cautions. Well,
Did it really?
yeah. We're gonna just do a true throwback race, single file restarts like it was back in 1980. Nothing, nothing out of the unusual. Now I have to get my better cautions reinstalled, apparently, because
Do that. So
yeah, I installed malware bytes just to scan the computer and see if I had anything, and it came back with only one warning, and it said better cautions was flagged as a very hazardous hazard to my computer, I guess. So
it just deleted it for you? Dang.
yep.
That's messed up. It shouldn't do that.
And it caught it live on YouTube here.
Don't use that company, folks.
Well, yep.
Leading things like that, that's cold.
I wanted it to be a throwback race. We've got ourselves a throwback race. So looks like Jason Leffler is going to have the start at the front here now after pit stops kind of shook things up, it looks like. JD McDuffie in second. Rick Wilson, who just caused the caution, all the way up to third now.
Josh Wise up into the top 10.
Here we go.
How long he stays up there, though.
You know, it's kind of crazy. This Atlanta almost runs kind of like a Darlington. The way they...
Yeah, kind of does.
Well, and
they want to stick it to the bottom.
I didn't realize until I did a little bit more research. Back in 1980, Atlanta was considered a true oval, or what they called a quad oval.
Huh.
I didn't know there was so many different classifications of track types. They reconfigured it probably about the 1990s, I think, for what's the traditional tri-oval now. And makes more sense to me as to why they call it a tri-oval. Obviously the triangle, but there's only one straightaway because of the tri-oval. So it's truly, I guess, for lack of better, it's a tri-oval. I don't know if I'm getting what I'm trying to say, but
No, it makes sense. Kind
I
of like how
guess,
now it's considered like a super speedway.
yeah. Well, Pocono's not a tri-oval. It, it's a, well, or is it? It's not an oval, so there's no way it would be considered a tri-oval.
It might be considered a tri-oval. The fact triangle. I'm not really sure though. I like how they're getting kind of spread out, trying to find different lines.
Right? And I think the ratings have a lot to do with that we're getting kind of, some excitement all throughout the field that they're trying to fight for every position on track, which we haven't seen a lot within our series of racing. Usually you got your standouts that are really strong and run right up to the front. We do have a couple of them here, it
Luckler was
seems.
going to turn Skinner there for a second.
Which one was trying to turn Skinner? Leffler?
It looked like Luckler was going to for a second. Oh, we got an engine blown. Is that? I think that was Hermie Sadler.
See if it says gearbox for Hermie Sadler.
Parker Kligerman running good again. He ran good last year too.
I do believe it's got a little bit to do with that. Having raced in recent years, it definitely helps. You'd think that the game wouldn't pick up on stuff like that, but the game might actually put more, I don't know, AI is AI, so it'll do weird things that we can connect the dots and make stories out of, I guess.
The game be weird sometimes.
What's neat here is Richard Childress at the front of the field leading.
I think what's funny about this race is when you're flipping through like names and stuff, some names that are in here, you think to yourself for a second and go, I would have thought they would have won a race.
Right? No, you don't realize that some of these drivers haven't won. What could be tricky is they may have won in the Xfinity Series, they might have won in the Truck Series if they're more recent drivers. But when they made that transition to Cup, they just didn't have that it factor. They lacked what little ability that they so needed to get wins in the top tier of NASCAR racing and whatnot. Someone like Childress is an interesting story because he really never got to race very competitively. He ended up, his first race was when they had a boycott at Talladega, and it just so happened that they called upon, I believe at that time would have been their sportsman class or their equivalent of Xfinity Series back then. I could be mistaken, but they brought their kind of not as heavy hitting stars on the rise to race for all the drivers that boycotted Talladega in the name of safety. So,
Well, and what's crazy is that's also the debut of the Superbird.
oh yeah,
That's the same race. Those are three events that you always think that for a minute you think those couldn't have happened at the same time. Those wouldn't be the same exact race.
Right?
There's no way. The appearance of the Superbird winning its first race, the driver walkout, and the tire war.
Would that have been when Talladega was first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was the inception
Early,
of Talladega.
early Talladega, yeah. And they got in the middle of a tire war too.
So it was.
And that was the issue. Some tires were not holding up, and they couldn't switch, or they refused to switch because they had deals with the tire manufacturers.
Wow.
I could be wrong about some details, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Yeah.
Well, from what I see, that was the inaugural race at Talladega. Which one of the drivers that did not boycott the race was actually Coo Coo Marlin. Richard Childress was in the number 13 car, driving a years older 1968 Chevrolet, when all the other drivers that had been running towards the front of the field were in the 1969 Dodge Superbird. So they had a very stout advantage on the rest of the field with the aerodynamics of that Superbird. You know, that could make for an interesting series. I know that we've got a lot of different series going every which way with our series on NR2003, but doing a Superbird or a Roadrunner series would be kind of neat, kind of different.
Well, I know there is a I believe there is a mod that does have those, and it has like the win and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, forget about the car tomorrow. Let's get the real
Car
wing.
yesterday.
Ooh, Cuckoo giving Richard Childress a bit of a bump there almost. Childress having to sit back and recover on that high lane, losing more positions here.
I'm betting he's gonna fall all the way to the back of this group here. Either that, or he might take this opening that's right here.
And then at the front of the field, we've got Parker Kligerman using his knowledge from recent race history. He's raced last year's Xfinity. He raced part-time in the Xfinity Series this year, and using his racecraft to stay at the front of the field in this race here.
Oh, and don't forget his 2 wins recently in the Truck Series.
Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, he's actually got 0 wins in the Xfinity Series. He has yet to win in the Xfinity Series. And there's always a chance that he could get another potential full-time ride in Cup, but once, start getting older in age, all the young talent coming up, it's going to kind of keep him out of commission.
Yeah, but he could be having a resurgence, just like some other drivers we've seen.
Yeah, we could see it a Allmendinger-esque kind of return of sorts. I'm still a little bit bummed that Allmendinger only got 1 year to show what he had back up in the Cup Series.
Well, and I think that was his... Like, I believe he's made it clear with Colleague that wherever you need me, that's where I'll be.
So more of he's calling his shots. He might think he's more competitive racing a full season of Xfinity then.
Yeah.
Guy there in second, most people might not know about, but Ben Arnold in that 76. Gonna be kind of fun. I can actually go and do a little bit of highlighting of each driver that we might not know much about. Ben Arnold was born in 1936, lived until 2011. He had 132 races in what would have been the Grand National Cup Series at the time, and had raced races from 1968 all the way up to 1973. Very little is noted about him. He had 21 top 10s and 0 poles. Majority of his races were run in that blue 76 as we see on track here.
It's like a group of like what? Is this just the top 10 right here?
Yeah, right at the, you can see about the top 10. They've broke away.
I believe in 97 is 11. Based on what I can see, it looks like maybe.
Yep, running in 11th.
Yeah. So yep, this is the top 10 plus 1 up there, and then
Which is nice that we've even got 10 cars in a pack together.
well, and they're pretty racy up here too. Some guys have fallen all the way to the back and come back forward. One thing still remains though. Parker Kligerman front.
I do like the shuffling in the midfield, or the mid top 10 here too, because you got Childress now up to second. It looks like Marty Robbins cracking his way up into the top 5. Ben Arnold really struggling here, falling back outside the top 5.
Hassler finally making his way back up into the top 5.
Rick Mass still running even after getting slammed into the wall.
Good, decent pace. Ways off the pace though.
Josh Wise also pretty far off the pace here. A significant stat from JD McDuffie is he had ran his whole career and never finished on the lead lap. And it was so much easier for a whole field to go a lap down back in the day because of the advantages some teams had over others, that you might only have like 5 cars left on the lead lap by the end of the race, sometimes even a driver on a lap of their own. JD McDuffie was one of those drivers who, to this day, obviously still is the only driver to never finish a race on the lead lap. Kirk Shelmerdine, he was the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Sr. After the passing of Dale Sr., he ventured out and tried starting his own starts with his own team. Only ran one full season under his team name, under his own team. And that scheme there very much was the only scheme I believe he had ran. It's minus the Bush for President, which was 2004, the year he ran it. Adam Petty would have been 4th generation, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Because you had Lee Petty, Richard Petty, Kyle Petty, and then Adam Petty.
Yep, so forth.
Which really there hasn't been a generational driver of that caliber. We never did. Well, we've yet to see the 3rd generation of Earnhardt. A lot of drivers start in their 2nd generation. If you look at the likes of Ryan Blaney, Harrison Burton, for example. So maybe not in our lifetime, but there could be a generational driver that goes to that 4th generation somewhere down the line.
I believe, I want to say it's Thad Moffat?
Which is very, it's like, is it a sister of Richard or something, or
Something
it's
like
like
that, I want to say.
So you could say that there is a Petty, but not by name necessarily.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure what the deal is, but I know that Richard supports.
Yeah, I think it's his like great nephew or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Someone's sister obviously had a name change that he's got Petty in the bloodline, but not by namesake. I think Thad's gonna try to make a attempt this year in 2024. I saw something popped up about an article for Thad
he
Moffitt.
has a full-time ride.
Is it a full-time truck? Okay. So that'll be kind of cool. Randy LaJoie, in his own, was a 2-time Busch Series champion, but very, very little to show for when he made it to Cup.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Alrighty. And lap traffic's going to make things interesting here towards the front of the field, as the 1 of Rick Mast and the 98 of Josh Wise have now gone a lap down. What we're going to do here tonight is, if these drivers are to go 2 laps down, we will DQ them so that it won't hold up the show too significantly. So 1 of 2 laps that they can go down. In the meantime, 30 there. Parker Kligerman still leading, but now new contender for second as you've got Marty Robbins fighting alongside Friday Hassler. Yeah, Ben Kennedy, he did try to make a few starts racing, but I believe he's since stepped down from his racing career to be, I want to say he's got a title such as competition director with NASCAR right now. So basically I think his ideas are kind of like the let's go race in the LA Coliseum or put dirt on Bristol and see how that goes kind of thing is what Ben Kennedy does for NASCAR right now. Coo Coo Marlin up to third, Marty Robbins in second, Friday Hassler back to fourth, Richard Childress in fifth. Then you got Brad Teague in sixth, Kenny Irwin in seventh. Hut Strickland, Jeff Green, and Chad Little rounding out your top 10. Still have 11 cars fighting for the win here, as those two behind them are now lap traffic that have fallen a lap down. Marty Robbins trying to put on an attack for the lead here. So far, only one retirement in the race. Hermie Sadler had a failure in the gearbox. Coo Coo Marlin, your points, or your pole setter, having a good showing here. Sitting in third, not too far from striking distance of the leader. Only one caution in the race so far. We saw the Rick Wilson versus Rick Mast battle that put Rick Mast into the wall. Since then, Rick Mast has gone a lap down and is struggling to keep speed in that entry of his. Kligerman still holding off the battle here from Marty Robbins.
Good. I realized I forgot to let my dogs in, and then I also won Grimace. So, I'm back now. Sorry about that.
Welcome back. Got a good battle here for the lead.
Looks like they're coming up on some more lap traffic here.
I mentioned in the broadcast that we're gonna DQ anyone that goes 2 laps down, as to give everyone a fair shake.
I don't know if I'd eliminate 2 laps down, just because they're going down naturally. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
It's not like they're hindering they're hindering the field. That's what a lap car does. But it's not like they're underpowered or anything.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. And besides, we want to give everyone as many laps as they can. You never know, you might have 40 cars wreck out, and those 2 lappers at the end are the ones that win it.
Well, and don't forget, just because we don't have better caution doesn't mean we can't, give people the wave around.
True. Oh, we got a lead change here as Marty Robbins takes the lead away. Friday Hassler up to second. Parker Kligerman falls back 2 spots there. Friday Hassler giving Marty Robbins a whole lot in the back of his mirror there.
Oh, and Friday Hassler led the race early on before that first caution came out.
Yeah, we're starting to see some standouts here who is potentially in it for the win here today. Hassler and Robbins have been at the front all day. Kligerman, lap traffic. They're going to make their way around the 13 of Max Pappas.
Ooh, Hassler gonna get caught out there.
Hassler loses some momentum there. Might give Kligerman another chance to get back by. Welcome in, everyone. If you're just now tuning in, you've only missed about 60 some laps and only one caution. No one retired from that caution. We did have a mechanical failure from Hermie Sadler, brother of Elliott Sadler. And we've seen Richard Childress running towards the front, Parker Kligerman, and now country musician Marty Robbins leading the way. Friday Hassler alongside Marty Robbins here. This is going to be a pass for the lead. Definitely hassling Marty Robbins for the lead. Michael Annette is a lap traffic here. Going to go a lap down. Kind of a surprising one to pop into the picture here. Brad Teague up to third. Kind of out of nowhere, the 26T of Brad Teague. Brad Teague still alive today, 76 years old. His last race in the NASCAR Cup Series was back in 1994. He had 0 wins in the Cup, 0 top 10s, 0 poles. So very, very unsuccessful when it came to the Cup Series. In Xfinity, he made most of his career racing Xfinity. Had 1 win, 43 top 10s, and 2 poles in what was then the Busch Series at the time. Had a highest result of 7th in the overall point standings. His last race was actually all the way till 2015. So I guess kind of like an Elliott Sadler, he found little success in the Cup Series. Well, and I wouldn't say that about Sadler, because Sadler was successful in Cup, just couldn't secure the right opportunities to come his way. But Brad Teague went back down and made kind of a lifer out of himself in the Xfinity Series. Got our first round of green flag pit stops happening. See how long it takes for our leaders to pull down. Friday Hassler coming down. That's going to relinquish the lead up to Ernie Irvin here. Ernie Irwin. My goodness. Kenny Irwin. I had that one wrong from the very beginning. Ernie Irvin has won in NASCAR competition. Kenny Irwin, unfortunately, was involved in an accident that claimed his life. Yeah, just like Adam Petty, Kenny Irwin was one of those, what if they didn't
What if they didn't,
They'd probably got plenty of wins in NASCAR competition. It was it was a bad time during 1990s there for
Well,
whatever reason. It was they were finding the limits on safety at that time, or the limits on what they could do with those cars with the lack of safety that they had.
well, and the thing about like Adam Petty is, think about the drivers that he was racing alongside, the greats that he was racing alongside in the lower division before he unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, and it definitely it would have been something to see them continue to race and see what would have been, what they could have done. Parker Kligerman slots back into the lead here, and I think we're going to find where our driver ratings really separate the field significantly, as Kligerman has a astonishing lead over second place Richard Childress to the tune of 2 seconds now, looks like. 1.7.
Oh.
Friday Hassler in third. Wow, Jeff Green in fourth. Kenny Irwin in fifth. Ben Arnold in sixth. Hut Strickland in seventh. Marty Robbins eighth. Brad Teague ninth. And Chad Little 10th. Coo Coo Marlin in 11th. JD McDuffie a lap down in 39th.
I think everybody's pretty well spread out here now. Did Parker Kligerman just turn the fastest lap last lap? Oh, no.
But let's see who has the fastest. Friday Hassler to the tune of 29.398 over Parker Kligerman and his 29.404. Coo Coo Marlin, our pole setter, third fastest with a 29.441. And so the other 30 would be that of Jeff Green, since we have the 30K and the 30.
Not no more.
Currently, we have 34 cars on the lead lap. 77 of the 328 laps completed.
Well, and Parker Kligerman working on making that one less car on the lead lap here.
Oh, and that'll be the 4 of Rick Wilson. And that's an Oldsmobile, right? Oldsmobile Alero?
Yep.
Yep. So it's kind of... Most of the manufacturers were pulled based off of which was their best season of competition. And when we were looking at it, each driver obviously had a standout season that was better than the rest. And therefore we get some interesting manufacturer matchups here.
Honestly, that Alero looks pretty sick on this body.
Yeah. No, it actually fits on the chassis pretty well. But yeah, we've got, Oldsmobile Alero, which has not been in NASCAR competition for decades. I think would it have been a Cutlass, or what were they running the last year that they ran it?
I'm not sure. Might have been the Laro still, actually.
Yeah, this car is the same one I'm looking. Oh yeah, Oldsmobile Cutlass. Back in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, he got by the 77 there of Brendan Gaughan. And now fighting with David Gill, and it seems that Rick Wilson maybe saved some of his tires here and is picking them off one by one. And this is for like 33rd, 32nd place on track, so...
Well, and now's the time to get going, because Parker Kligerman ain't that far behind.
We tried to stay with some of the modern templates, obviously your Ford, Chevy, and even what few drivers have made it on this list that actually contested in a Toyota, which not very many. The surprising fact of the matter is we do have a Toyota that's leading the field right now. That was 2015, I want to say, with Parker Kligerman in that number 30. One of his few full-time seasons in NASCAR Cup action, and therefore one of his best seasons. So yeah, very, very diverse field of manufacturers going on here. Got a Buick. So we wanted to go with the retro but modern appeal. You still have these manufacturers that may have not raced since the 1980s, but obviously we can't just throw a Oldsmobile Cutlass out there. It wouldn't really make sense on the body of the next gen Cup series. So we went with whatever looked sleeker, whatever made more sense in a modern aesthetic. And I'm trying to figure out which Buick that is. It might be I don't know if it's a Regal. It might be. It's kind of a throwback, though, with the Dodge Charger. Those look like the Dodge Charger from the 2000s that even like Casey Kane and Evernham used to run. Got a Pontiac Grand Prix, which Pontiac sadly is no more. They went extinct around 2007, where they kept making the G series, the G6, G7, G8.
I know BK already said that it was a Regal in the
Okay.
chat, but yes. I was gonna say yes, it is a Regal. Because I've seen that template on Stunod. It's a Regal.
Dick Trickle in the top 15 there, running 12th. Hut Strickland in the top 10. Ben Arnold. This is some fast racing action here as Coo Coo Marlin holds off Ben Arnold and Brad Teague. Marty Robbins there. All this is for position. This is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. The lead has stayed pretty steady at the front of the field as Parker Kligerman has a 2.5-second lead over Friday Hassler.
Looked like Hassler cut into it just a touch.
Just a
Not a
little bit.
lot.
So keeping it close and not letting Kligerman drive away with it yet. I wish we could see something the likes of Marty Robbins in modern era. It would be so cool to have a celebrity from outside of motorsports decide, hey, I've got a crap ton of money. Let's go race NASCAR. I guess the likes of Floyd Mayweather owning a team is similar in manner, but
Well, Pitbull technically owns a team too.
yeah, but they aren't driving. See, if you had like a, I mean, Pastrana, yeah, but he, his whole career has been, motorsports basically. So it didn't seem like such a stretch for him to go out and race the Daytona 500.
Right.
But it would be really weird if, say, like, I don't know, a younger country artist or something, or heck, even a rock star or something, if you wanted, it's like Slash from Guns N' Roses decide, I'm going to go out there and race NASCAR for a year or something.
Yeah.
It would just be, that would be the extra, different,
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah. It's all about, money and potential, getting hurt. It kind of keeps them from venturing out of their comfort zone, I guess. Heck, maybe not even just a music star. Maybe it's someone that plays soccer or football or something. Like well, who was the one that was Deion Sanders, who went and played baseball and football, something like that. If Russell Wilson or someone's like, I'm gonna go race, go race in NASCAR, it would be.
Well, and I know we have Frankie Muniz, but
Yeah. Which there's still potential there. He could make it up into a cup ride someday.
he looked pretty good in ARCA. He looked pretty good in ARCA this season.
Lead is shrinking at the front, so we'll kind of jump up there and see how that goes. Lap traffic.
We are getting closer and closer to the next set of pit stops.
Brian mentioned Mysterio, the Mysterios in WWE. It reminds me of the cameos that they've had in WWE with NASCAR drivers before. There was a time when they had Kyle Busch and Joey Logano in on the same show, and they had their cars out in the parking lot doing burnouts as they pulled them on into the arena that they were in that night to celebrate basically the fact that Joey Logano with his GameStop sponsor had WWE on the hood of his car, so it made for some shoe-in for NASCAR on an episode of WWE, which I believe was WWF at the time, maybe, but WWE, yeah. Recently, too, Kyle Busch was back on
I was just
probably.
gonna say that. Wasn't he on like a year or two ago when he won his championship?
It was recent, yeah, within the last 5 years or so, and they actually had him pin the 24/7 belt holder, and Kyle Busch was able to secure a belt on WWE as Michael Waltrip was there with him, dressed up, you know, incognito, and all of a sudden, the guy that has the 24/7 belt runs out in front of Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch trips him or something, and he's looking, he's like dumbfounded that he just got tripped by Kyle Busch. And Michael Waltrip's like wagging his finger, and he takes his shirt off, and he has a referee shirt underneath, and then he's freaking out, and then Kyle Busch pins him. Michael Waltrip does the countdown, 1, 2, 3, and Kyle Busch had the 24/7 belt. As crazy as that sounds.
I do remember that. That was really funny.
Yeah.
Leffler's just saying, "Get out of the way, lap car. We're done. We're done. Get out of my way."
See, if we have a caution somewhere in the race too, these lappers that are still fighting for position, like you said, we'll give them wave arounds and stuff. They could still steal the show towards the end of it if cautions fall the right way for them. We are 1/3 of the way through the race here. Setting pretty good pace here for 500 miles around Old Atlanta. Crazy that Atlanta's been through so many remods, basically. 1980s Atlanta runs nothing like 1990s Atlanta. Runs nothing like 2023 Atlanta. It definitely feels like a whole different track from the modern. Friday Hassler going by Adam Petty here for, to get Petty behind him, lap traffic.
Parker getting closer and closer, losing more and more time to Friday Hassler.
And this is kind of where I was expecting with the mixed bag of ratings that we were going to see a greater disparity from the lead to the back. But at least 1/3 of the way through the race, we still have 26 cars on the lead lap. And really about 3 cars within fighting position for the lead.
Say if we don't have a caution by lap 164, we throw our own.
I'm good with that.
At the halfway point there. Whether they've all pitted or not.
We might
let the chips fall where they may, see what happens.
We might wait till if it's like right in the middle of green flag pit stops to let them sort it out, but
yeah.
So far, Kligerman has been the star of the show, but Friday Hassler, I think he's going to get by that lap traffic, and he's going to have something for Kligerman here.
I think so. He seems to have a lot of power when it comes to late in the race, or late in the run here.
Heck, even Childress still in good position there, running 3rd.
Yeah, but he's got to get through all this lap traffic that Hassler just got through. Seems like Jason Leffler has some power in that 11 car, too. Just stuck a lap down.
Wonder what his lap times are looking like. 30.7. Yeah, no, he's running comparable laps to that of Friday Hassler. He's giving Hassler a headache here.
He only a lap down, or is he laps down?
Should only be one lap. Yes. In 28th, one lap down. So he's racing strong enough to still pass people for position here. That's going to bump him up to 27th that he got by Rick Wilson. And still trying to pass Hassler.
I don't know if he's trying to pass Hassler at this point. He might be just comfortable being behind him.
Well, and I think that's kind of helping Hassler. The draft that he's getting off that 11 is helping push him through the traffic. Yeah, see, Leffler breaks off there, and it makes you think he's going to pass, but I think Hassler's just fast enough to stay
Oh, there we go.
side by side. We'll see, though, if Hassler has enough momentum to pass him on the outside here.
Yeah, but this fighting isn't good for either of them. Because Leffler wants his lap back, and Hassler wants the lead.
Well, at least there's an opening there. He's able to slot his way behind Leffler. And maybe now they can get it sorted out.
Or maybe this could have been a planned switch.
See, and I think right now we're getting towards the end of the green flag runs, so that they're going to have to start pitting again. And you're seeing the advantages start to deteriorate. The advantage that Kligerman had fallen apart as the 39 of Hassler catching up to him. Childress catching up to the both of them. And Coo Coo Marlin is about 8 seconds back.
But that's where he shook out to be at the end of the last round. So this could end up being just a 3-car battle at the end here.
But we will have our own competition caution at halfway, which should help bunch him back up. Man, I'm bummed that Malwarebytes deleted my better cautions. I think I still have it in Discord to where I can link it, but man, it's probably, yeah, it's hard to get better cautions without, having to jump through hoops to actually install it.
Yeah, that's why I kept it. It's in our chat somewhere. I think if you just type in BC and you're searching for a file, you should be fine. Find it.
Well, these two still fighting back and forth, Hassler and Leffler. Coo Coo Marlin closing that gap slightly, now down to 7.33. Our top 5 all within 8 seconds of each other. Impressive resurgence here from Jason Leffler. He's going to try to get by the leader and get his lap back here. Perhaps Leffler, the tire's wearing low on him here. Hassler going to try to push it. Yep, Hassler pushes right through Leffler there. But the problem now, every time that Hassler gets by Leffler, Leffler always seems to have just an edge on Hassler to get back by him. This is the closest our top three have been since before green flag pit stops. Go ahead and pause for a minute here so we can save the replay.
Ooh, someone just did a file cleanse, didn't he?
I did. Got it
How do you
all.
manage to get so many letters in there? Mine wants to stop after like a certain amount.
I don't know if maybe it's some of the modifications I have. I know, like,
Maybe.
for example, these blue arrows and the blue functions that I have were added on somehow. Hassler gets the lead from Kligerman here. Kligerman stuck up high to dry.
Looks like he might fall back to third, depending on how fast Richard Childrens is here. Nope, gonna only lose one spot.
It's pretty neat that this race actually fell on the same day both years that we've done it so far.
Oh,
Last
yeah.
year we actually ran it December 23rd, 2022.
Oh, sweet. So it's been 365 days since we crowned our last winless driver champion.
Well, and it'll be cool too if we can make it work each year to do it on the 23rd every year. That way it's kind of everyone's got it. You know, it's like, it's going to be the day before Christmas Eve. It's hard to do something on Christmas Eve because I'm sure everyone's going to be busy with everything
Last
else.
minute Christmas stuff.
Yep. I know for a fact today, just working retail like I do, everyone was going crazy today doing last minute Christmas stuff on Saturday the 23rd. So, but thank you for everyone that has tuned in so far. I know it's a long race. Some of the other people might be waiting to tune in later. I know I'm competing up against football too, which, of all things, why they decided to do Saturday, Sunday, and Monday this week. But
They did it last week too, I think.
well, and I thought at first is because college was done, but the college championship game is New Year's. So partially probably doing it because college, their regular season, they're doing kind of a mix of bowl games right now. But there's less for the NFL to compete against the college football.
Right. Yeah. Maybe.
So far, I'm liking the racing here at Old Atlanta.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We'll have to start brainstorming having a different kind of gimmick for each season that we do this.
Oh, there we go. We got a blinker.
It's not like real life NASCAR can do this. They can't do a throwback race at a track that they had to revert back to its old status. I guess, think about Bristol doing it on the dirt's kind of a throwback to olden days of them racing on the dirt, but it's not like building Old Atlanta and having them race on Old Atlanta.
Yeah, and I kind of had some thoughts about this that I was thinking I might run by you later after we're done.
Okay.
Oh, there goes Parker Kligerman. I saw him down pit road.
Wow, Hassler's staying out a lot longer here than the rest of the field. Should be pretty good to throw our caution about 164 without green flag pit stops during that time, because I think it's about 60 laps to each green flag.
Should be. I believe so.
Here we go, Hassler. Ooh!
Oh. That was close. That's going to definitely hold up our leader just a little bit.
Landon Castle in that 83 Burger King entry. One of the other few Toyotas that have made it to this league.
Oh, and I just remembered, without better precautions, they will run each other over on pit road.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that.
And this will be a true test of this track and its AI capabilities then.
Seems like they all get on and off pit road pretty nicely.
Here comes Dave Blaney. Friday Hassler rejoining. There's Parker Kligerman blowing by with the lead.
No, not yet. Should be, though.
Should revert back to him, it looks like. There's a couple others still making their pit stops here. 26, 76, the 9 still out there, but I believe they'll be coming down pit road next time. And it's going to shuffle out to Kligerman leading over Richard Childress over Friday Hassler. Jeff Green may perhaps have made up some time there. I don't know if he's going to shuffle out with pit stops still.
Got about 6 seconds on Haas.
Damn, that's impressive that these guys are stretching it longer on these green flag runs. I think our leaders still have yet to go down pit road or something. Okay, they're now coming off. 76 and the 26 and the 9. Yep, 26 of Teague.
26. And the 9 was just coming off pit road. Because that's the camera we went to a second ago that was on pit road.
Yep, they're going to be far from the lead now because they only had about 10 seconds on the leader.
There we go. There's our
3 wide.
Leaderboard.
Ooh! That's some aggressive racing.
Ooh, that's tight.
That's 8th for 2 lapped cars that he's fighting. Teague in 9th. Gonna have to get by the lap traffic as well. Kenny Irwin in the top 10, running 7th. Coo Coo Marlin in 6th. Marty Robbins in 5th. Jeff Green running a solid 4th. Only 8.5 seconds out of the lead. Friday Hassler went from just about leading the race to now 6.4 seconds out of the lead.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if within the next 28 laps before we get to our halfway caution, if he can close that gap up.
Well, and I think a lot of it has to do with him staying out as long as he did. He's got a better late race push. He'll get a little bit more out of his tires because he pits so late that it'll come to him towards the end of a long run.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen another caution. These guys are all pushing really hard.
Well, it also goes to show you we're basically, performing a science experiment here with the varied driver ratings. And what I've done some research on driver ratings and what else. I mean, there's only, you kind of have to just troubleshoot and experiment with them. But from what I've seen, other people were saying if you have a minimum under 50 for vehicle rating, I think it's either aerodynamics or consistency or something, one of the, like, reliability. But it basically, if it's under 50, that driver is more prone to wrecking. And so, yeah, let me pull up that page real quick. Chassis. So the lower this value, the less likely the car will track consistently. AI with less than a 50 minimum rating are likely to be involved in accidents. So take with that what you will. It's someone else has found that to be evident within NR2003, and I think a lot of our driver ratings are sub 50s just because it is the Winless Drivers Series, and they're driving impressively clean.
Has he closed that gap any?
Still
No.
roughly
Alright.
about the same.
If anything, Parker Klickerman opened up the gap a little bit more back to Richard Children. Marty Robbins made it past Mike Skinner back there, fit for fourth.
Nice. Yeah, in the meantime, Parker Kligerman's still dominating at the front of the field here. Man, it's still only one retirement from the race, the 0-2 of Hermie Sadler with his mechanical failure. We've got 20 cars on the lead lap. The JJ Yaley fixing to go a lap down here. Friday Hassler is closing that gap down, so.
Oh, wow. Looks like we might have a battle for second shaping up here shortly.
Oh yeah, Friday Hassler and Childress now. I don't know if Childress maybe is having some troubles. He just turned a 30.1. Compare that up to the 29.7 that Friday Hassler just turned.
Does it say anything in the thing about Children's getting any damage?
Nope. Just had a bad lap, it seems, or perhaps the car fallen away from him here. Still running 30.1s. Friday Hassler turning the faster 29.8s. Here we go.
He seems to be pretty content sitting behind Children's. Are they gaining working together, or oh, never mind. Gonna take the pass now.
I think the advantage of the draft kind of wore off there as Hassler found an opportunity to pounce.
We'll have to watch and see if Children's drops back any further to Marty Robbins. Seems to be gaining time as well.
Kligerman turned a 30.1 that lap. And perhaps dealing with lap traffic giving him fits here. We'll see the next lap, but yeah, the deficit definitely shrinking. That's impressive from Friday Hassler to be putting in such a good run here. I don't know if maybe the tires are wearing that quickly for our leaders. Yeah, 30.2. And I guarantee you that Friday Hassler turned a 29 something on that lap. Yeah, 30.0, so really close. And I think what we're seeing here is the difference in time of pit stop. That tire degradation allows for the driver that stayed out the longest to get some more momentum towards the lead. Childress not really going away. It seems like they're kind of equaled out right now. $30.177 compared up to a 30.120. So even with the competition caution at 164, it'll basically be, it'll be a halfway point. We'll probably still end up seeing this play out towards the second half, the end of the race, because we'll still likely see 2 more green flag pit stops the way they're racing. I don't think we're going to see very many cautions.
No, and we're getting ready to come to we just got the 10 to go mark before we hit our halfway point caution.
Ooh, Hassler actually slower on that lap this time. How many drivers do you think I should give the wave round to? Like 5, maybe?
I was gonna recommend seeing if we could pause it and try to give like
Most of the field? Or
anybody that's 1 lap down.
okay.
Once they get lined up, or after they do pit stops, I'd say click pause, see if it'll let you do that.
Have you done that before?
I don't think I've tried pausing and doing the wave around.
I'd be worried about it crashing or freaking it out.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe. Let me see the standings one more time. I'd give yeah, I'd go till 25th. I'd go to 25th.
Well, and we can maybe just do as many as it'll let us under caution.
Yeah, true.
Just do it that way.
As soon as they get out of pit road, just start throwing numbers to go get a lap back.
So 6 laps now until our halfway caution break.
And actually, we'll probably throw it on 165.
Or do you want to do it on 163? Just go to 165?
Yeah, let's go to 165.
Okay.
That's kind of what NASCAR does. They say the stage is at this, but really it's one more.
I'm still impressed we've only seen 1 wreck here today. Still only 1 retirement. Been an impressive race so far.
Wait, when did Marty Robbins get here?
Is he a lap down?
No!
Wait, what?
When did he get here?
You're right. How the heck?
I
Have
made
we-
a side remark about him like 6 laps ago or something. About how he was making his way, gaining time.
Okay, what is he on? He's been... Okay, there's when they make their pit stop. He came in about 3rd place. 8th. 5th. He just jumped from 8th to 5th. And now he's about to take 2nd. Yeah, take 2nd away.
Take second. As we get ready to come to 3 to go this time by.
Well, track position's going to be pretty key here. And this will give him significant track position that he otherwise would not have had.
Well, and you got to figure these guys are probably going to take the opportunity.
To pit, yeah. Oh, wow, there's already someone on pit road.
That seems like an unscheduled.
Yeah. Wow, no, Marty Robbins is kind of giving us a surprise here out of nowhere. In with the RKO, it's Marty Robbins. I do like the degradation at this track. It makes for some exciting come from behind scenarios that we didn't see initially.
It really does. And yeah, the 0, I think, was off sequence because nobody else has come to pit road.
Let's see how many laps the 0 is. 2 laps down. The one of, I believe that's Rick Mast. Down 3 laps. But yeah, Marty Robbins up to 2nd. We're going to keep an eye. This will be the lap 165. Oh, yep, wheel damage for the 0.
Oh.
Okay, and so now they're going to race back to the line here. Yellow flag is out. Shoot. Marty Robbins is going to come within 2 seconds of the leader. Kligerman passes for the caution here at the line. Only 2.6 seconds back, Marty Robbins. 3rd, Friday Hassler. 4th, Richard Childress. 5th, Coo Coo Marlin. 6th, Jeff Green. 7th.
It's Jeff Green. I keep saying that's Mike Skinner.
Oh. Yeah, I believe Mike Skinner did actually win probably in that 30 car, didn't he?
I think so. Alright, here we go.
Jeff Green was the...
Hold on, this is all of our... I believe this is all of our lead lap cars pitting right now.
We'll keep close eye on the front of this to see how they...
You gonna start throwing numbers so people can go get lap back?
We'll have to wait. I'm gonna go ahead and actually add a pace lap too, so that we can have 1 extra lap to do wave arounds. Because what's going to happen is they're all going to pit next lap, and they'll relinquish their wave around immediately. So we have to wait
Oh, yeah.
till our lap traffic comes down pit road too, which will be this time around. They'll all come down pit road, starting with Scott Riggs, who is our first car 1 lap down. Let's see who comes out on top of the race off pit road. It looks like Richard Childress. Childress comes out with the lead over Parker Kligerman, Coo Coo Marlin, Friday Hassler, and Marty Robbins. Yep, and then everyone else coming down pit road now.
Yep, here comes our lap down graphic. Oh, looks like NR is gonna give Coo Coo Marlin second place, not third.
Oh, we must have missed the actual drive off pit road. So Coo Coo Marlin, our pole setter, back up to second here. Let's see how close the actual race off pit road was. Oh, he has the first pit stall. Of course he does. Being the pole setter. Wow, okay, yep. He obviously beat the 30 of Kligerman. That's the advantage.
Just about beats the 3 out, too.
Yeah, he could have ended up jumping up into the lead on that one. Okay, so Kligerman gets the wave around.
Hold on. Let's make sure we get the right top 5, or like top 25, or whatever we can put out.
So
Let's let them cross the line.
Okay.
Because as much as I want Scott Riggs to have his lap back, for personal reasons,
Make sure the game
I would hate
does
I
it
would
right.
hate for him to get a lap back if he does not deserve it.
Okay, so 21st.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, and it's not the 10, it's the 010. So good catch on making me wait. Number 52.
93. 72. 41. Do you want me to give you a few more?
Yep.
11. 83. 45. And 090. 98.
Oh.
Okay. If we want to add one more pace lap, we can give the rest of those guys their lap back. Probably. Oh, somebody blew it. Oh, no.
Did we have a mishap because of the wave around, though? I don't think so.
No, he blew his...
Oh, okay, yes, that was a
Thank
mishap.
you, Kirk Chalmerdine, for Kevin LePaging the field.
Well, we're going to add a pace lap on that one. I didn't realize they get so bound up at the top.
Well, I don't know why he took the top.
Well, he did the wave around.
Yeah, I know, but everybody else took the bottom.
Well, Shelmerdine just did the Shelmerdine, I guess. Okay, the pace lights are out, and we've got...
A mess.
A mess. It looks like only about 4 people got their wave around of the 10 that we tried for, so...
Oh well. We got the number we aimed for.
Well, and only 1 retirement from the shenanigans, so...
Couple cars with some damage, but other than that...
Need some excitement. That's all we needed, was a little bit of excitement.
Did Jimmy Spencer ever win a race? Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunate.
Be nice to have him in this league.
I was just gonna say we should get Mr. Excitement, but I guess if he's won a race, Oh god. Mass, just stay out of the way.
So this is an interesting twist with all the lap traffic on the inside still that didn't get the wave round. It's going to cause a lot of commotion for our leaders.
Yeah, that's gonna shake things up pretty good.
Ooh, Kligerman
Oh!
getting blocked by the zero there. The slower traffic of the zero.
Looked like
Kligerman.
Kligerman gave him a bit of a shove coming into the corner there, saying, "I did not appreciate that, sir."
Well, and this is the first adversity that our leaders have faced all day. Ooh, there's a lead change happening at the front here as you've got Coo Coo Marlin fighting Richard Childress. Coo Coo Marlin, our pole setter, back to the lead. Man, could you imagine that? If the guy that comes to fill in for the guy that won it last year comes out, then we'll start a revolving door of everyone trying to beat the new guy.
Looks like our lead lap cars managed to get to the bottom.
Now Reed Sorensen sustained some damage. Hut Strickland coming off pit road. Didn't say what for. Jeff Green, who is having a good run up to this point, having to resort down pit road as well. Ooh, Joe Ruttman sustained some significant damage from the shenanigans involving Shelmerdine. As well as Ben Arnold.
That sucks for him. He was having a really good day.
Well, what's even more impressive is he's running 20th right now with that damage. And only 5.4 seconds out of the lead. So we'll see what he's got with the now modified front end of that car. I guess the one good thing was with Jason Leffler here getting the wave around, he's back in the mix running 18th. So I think going forward we can only do about 2 or 3 cars on a wave around here because the track gets a bit too narrow for the rest of the drivers to actually do the wave around without wrecking.
Yeah, and if we want to do more, then we can just
add laps and let them sort it out.
Yeah, we'll let the lights go out, and then because it'll cycle those lapped cars to the front.
Okay, yeah.
And then we can send them if we add a pace lap.
Nice. Kenny Irwin up to third. At least our hot dogs are still running towards the front. Friday Hassler there. Reed Sorensen in the 41 is a moving roadblock.
He might be worth DQing at the end here, yeah.
We got to keep an eye on him, make sure I didn't just cause a World War III of collision.
Nope, everybody
good.
gets through it. Yeah, he was 3 seconds off the pace, almost.
So we'll keep an eye on that and DQ accordingly. I'm going to step away for a minute. I'll be back.
Got a good battle with the top 5 going here, with Richard Children's leading it, with Kenny Irwin second, and Friday Hassler doing his thing in third. Marty Robbins gonna take a dive on Hassler for third. Parker Kligerman sitting back there in sixth. Parker Kligerman just sitting there in sixth, waiting for these two to sort it out. Looks like Kenny Irwin gonna lose some spots. Parker Kligerman finds himself up to 4th now. Gonna gain 2 spots from that transaction there. And Hassler back up to the top 5. Irwin gonna fall to 6th. Looks like Richard Children's gonna fall to the high side and potentially fall to the back of this group here. Marty Robbins with the lead now.
I'm back. Looks like I missed
Welcome
some
back.
good racing. Holy cow.
Yeah, we've got our entire top 6 up here. Parker Kligerman up to 2nd now.
So Kligerman finding his stepping again here. Coo Coo Marlin starting to fall off. It seems, almost the same scenarios are playing out here. We're figuring out which drivers have the long run car versus a short run speed.
Well, these 6 have been flip-flopping the whole time you were gone.
Kenny Irwin, a new player in the game, though. Have not seen him as high as 3rd yet until now. Marty Robbins actually put down the fastest lap. But under attack now from Kligerman. Kligerman's going to regain the lead here in the 30K. Kenny Irwin, though, look out. He's hungry to take that lead away. Teague's running about 2 seconds. So you want it to be 3 seconds. Would that be a good benchmark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this could just be a tire issue.
Yep. So 32, if anyone's running 32s, they get the DQ.
Or we'll base it on how the field hits them. Too. We'll keep that in mind as well. How the field gets by them.
Tight battle here for 2nd. Marty Robbins has to peek out, but peeks right back behind him. Hassler didn't want to give an inch there. Takes position away from Marty Robbins. Kligerman making it around the 26T of Teague. Robbins going to get stuck on that outside.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he held them up any.
Friday Hassler making a move here on Kenny Irwin. Ooh, Irwin had to panic decel on that one.
Yeah, he was going to cut him off there and just chose to do it just a touch too late.
I feel like Hassler has no fear here today. He's been putting himself in some very precarious positions throughout the race. Whoa, look at that move on Kligerman. Hassler making the field look like a joke right now as he blows by the lead here. Those are some very aggressive moves that I've not seen very often in NR 2003. Coo Coo Marlin now up to second.
Marty Robbins back up to third.
Kligerman's stuck up in that high lane. We're going to have to see if Kligerman's got the strategy calls to get back to the lead. It seems like that's been his main objective here today, is being contrary when it comes to pit stops, reclaiming that lead. Here we go, Coo Coo Marlin. Has to hold off there, though.
Marty Robbins gonna dive in.
Yeah, that midway caution has allowed for some excellent racing here at the front of the field.
It really has. Well, and it seems like it split up the back half of the field for them.
Mm-hmm.
Had to recount there. Did we lose someone? No, everybody's here still.
Here we go, Marty Robbins to the attack here. Friday Hassler getting slated back to second.
Mark Kligerman gonna make that move on Kenny Irwin back there. Fourth.
We're down to about 133 laps to go here. Still anyone's game within the top 6. Seventh is Randy LaJoy. 8th is Todd Bodine. That's quite a turnaround for that 75. 9th is Chad Little. 10th, Buddy Arrington. 11th, Danica Patrick. 12th, Sam Hornish Jr. Those two have been tied together all day, it seems like. 13th, Jimmy Means. 14th, Scott Riggs. 15th.
That's a good turnaround for him. That's +7.
Right. Getting the wave around, now up into the top 15. You got JJ Yaley, Mike Skinner. Oh!
That's why I keep thinking Mike Skinner.
Mike Skinner is in the race because he too has failed to actually win. So Mike Skinner and Jeff Green both running nearly an identical paint scheme.
Well, and I think Mike Skinner has ran that scheme.
Okay, yeah, the American Online, yep. Yeah, if you had to make a dark horse pick, who would you pick outside the top 5?
Outside the top 5 dark horse pick?
I'd say outside the top 7, I guess.
Oh.
Oh! That's a bad place to have a mechanical failure.
Get down without causing a caution.
Wow.
Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming here. as we get ready to put.
Oh, yep, still stalled. I wonder if that might bring out a caution still if he stalled right in the middle. No?
Caution yet.
Unfortunately, that might be the end for Wally Dallenbach here today. We've only had 4 cars knocked out of the race here this evening. And probably going to be a 5th one added to that shortly.
Yep, here it comes.
Marty Robbins leads over Friday Hassler. 3rd place, Coo Coo Marlin. Hut Strickland is 1 lap, actually 2 laps down in 29th.
We got
Kligerman.
another caution before the end. My dark horse pick probably. Honestly, just because of the sentimental value, I'd have to go with Scott Riggs. That's his +7 after the caution is
Yeah,
what tipped me a little bit.
that's definitely a big climb from getting the lap back to running up to the top 15. And still it looks like maybe picking off spots now up to 13th. With the help of DiBenedetto, they got by JJ Yaley. So that's it. I like your pick there. My dark horse pick outside the top 7. Honestly, I'm going to have to go out on a limb with this one and say I'm liking Buddy Arrington. It's either that or Todd Bodine.
My honorable mention pick is Chad Little.
Yeah. I'm going to seal my statement and stick with Buddy Arrington, though.
Realistic pick for me right now, probably going to be Chad Little. Just because he's been there all day, he's been consistent. If something happens, he might have a chance to get up there.
Damn, Ben Arnold, even with no front end, is still making up spots. He gained a spot now into the 19th position. So back to our front field here. Marty
you mean
Robbins.
Our front 3?
Still 6 guys within striking distance of each other. If these 3 get to racing hard, it'll only allow for the others to catch up.
Coo Marlin going to take second away here.
It's impressive that Coo Coo Marlin's sticking around this time. I thought perhaps he was going to fall off, but maybe they found
he showed up early in last year's event and then fell off late in the run.
Well, Coo Coo Marlin's, this is his first year.
Oh, I thought you said Marty Robbins.
Okay, yeah, no, Marty Robbins did. He was up running strong, and I was thinking Coo Coo Marlin based on the initial start of this race where he had the pole and dropped like a rock. I'm surprised to see that they must have made some changes to that car. He's actually running competitively here at the front.
Yeah, he's been sitting about 6th the whole race. After that initial green flag shuffle falling to the back, he sorted himself out to about 6th.
There's a fight for second. Those two side by side. They're driving away from Kligerman and the crew.
Yeah, and Marty Robbins says, "Go ahead, you two. Fight it out. That's fine with me."
All this hard racing, and yet no big mistakes from anyone other than Kirk Shelmerdine. That's really been the only mistake all night other than the Rick on Rick crime.
Starting to gain on the 26 again here.
There we go. Getting close at the front again here. Friday Hassler closing that gap. And approaching lap 220, I'm thinking our next round of pit stops will probably be about 225 to 230 range. They're about to put a couple more guys a lap down. You got 20th and 19th place there right in front of them. The one multiple laps down, that's Rick Mast, who has not recovered from the initial caution at the start of the race that saw him sliding into the outer wall. He's the last car on the field, 5 laps down. Now make that 6 laps down.
That's 6 laps down now.
But he was able to gain a couple spots due in part to the few drivers that did wreck out. So staying alive, getting some more positions. Definitely not in the talks for a win, though. So Rick Mast will likely be another driver we see here next year. Or heck, who knows, if we wanted to do a twofer with this series going forward, we could do that too. I just wouldn't want to run out of winless drivers, you know. At least this keeps the mystique of it going a little bit longer if we do it annually. It's kind of a reverse elimination format. You don't. We got a caution.
Yeah, we got a caution.
Ooh, oh,
it's a doozy. It looks like.
Oh, is that no. The 97 of Chad Little? It looked like.
It is.
yeah, there's
Oh no!
some.
Oh, and there's your pick too. Oh no, no, you
That's
didn't have Danica Patrick. You had Buddy Aaron.
Bodine.
Oh,
Okay, so there's a little bit of beef in this one. Todd Bodine. Man, it was Rick Wilson that caused the first caution of the race.
hold on. It looks like the Wilson gets into the back of the 74 coming into the corner.
It does a weird thing there, it looked like. Does he just get loose? Is he trying to commit to pit road? You see that there. It looks like he gets loose. Oh no, it's just, yeah, the 75 was right into the
Yeah,
left rear quarter panel of that 4, not giving him any room.
yeah, he didn't give him any room at all.
So Bodine drives right through the 4 of Wilson, whereas Wilson drove right through the 1 of Mast earlier today.
I believe that's called karma.
Yeah, it came back to bite him in the butt here. Unfortunately, a few other drivers
I
just,
want to change camera angles there, friend.
bam, I'm watching the
Oh,
angle there.
oh,
Oh, De Benedetto makes it through.
that was impressive. Just gonna thread the needle there.
But yeah, unfortunately, the 97 of Chad Little, the 10 of Danica Patrick, both involved in that.
I want to see the onboard from Matt DiBenedetto.
Okay, let's see the 21 of De Benedetto. Cockpit. He's wound up. He's putting gas in. Wow, he gassed her up and drove right through it. And now he should get a wave around. Yep, we're going to time it just about perfect here as they're making their pit stops, the lap down cars. 16 of Ben Arnold. We'll go ahead and do the wave round for him. So I don't know why I gave him
You
the
forgot
wave.
to put. You forgot to put the
Oh,
exclamation point.
that would be why. Yeah, everyone else taking the inside line now. What the hell? Just Shelmerdine. That was all on Shelmerdine in that last.
Told you.
Yeah, look at that.
You might just be
Oh,
spacing them out enough. I'd just make sure you don't send them while they're on the corners.
okay, yeah,
That
straightaways are
might be the
perfect.
problem.
I think we'll do that for now. Gives us 20 on the lead lap.
28?
20.
20?
Yes.
Dang.
20 on the lead lap. There's only 23 one lap down. Or back to 23rd.
I'd say if we don't shut the lights up, never mind.
There we
Never
go.
mind. Don't listen to me.
But at least they can still race back for their lap back with the old school double file restarts here. So this kind of gives us a unscheduled competition caution, basically.
I believe they call those pit stops.
And it's going to be double file pretty much all the way through the field except for the 5 on the outside there. So this is going to be an interesting restart to see how they fare with the lap traffic. Another hour has passed, so we'll pause for a moment here. Good point to pause it. I'm just glad I don't brain fart and hit the accelerate button or the start race over button or hit qualifying.
Oh, that would suck.
You felt that from the other side of the microphone, I could tell.
Sent a chill down my spine.
How, for whatever reason, the frame rate has dropped a little bit here, so...
It's showing up fine on my end.
There we go, it's kind of buffered out.
The yellow again already?
Nope.
Oh, I thought it had.
So Marty Robbins leads. It's kind of interesting, those two cars, similar paint stylings there with a yellow, kind of a yellow side tone to it. Kind of cool. Kenny Irwin now up to 3rd. Friday Hassler back to 4th. Ooh, look at that run by Coo Coo Marlin. Holy cow, that's a run. Here comes Coo Coo Marlin, side by side with Marty Robbins. Fighting for the lead there. JD McDuffie, lap down, holding his own with these leaders. Holy cow, look at that. Todd Bodine wrecks the other... Rick Wilson out of the race, and now he's up into the top 5.
Well, there's your pick of Buddy Arrington up to 8. Still.
Nice. So yeah, we're getting to see, this is playing out pretty exciting here. See some different faces towards the front of the field.
I don't think that restart worked out to Scott Riggs' benefit.
Unfortunately for Riggs, it looks like he's mired back with the lap traffic. 13th right now, but if he can find the inside lane, he might be able to start making up some ground.
He's able to get through it fast. He might still have a chance to try to fight for this.
Well, and there's no telling that we might actually get another caution here too, so.
Especially with how tight these leaders are running.
Holy cow, they're almost trying to go 3 wide for the lead. Robbins and Marlin side by side. Hassler right there. Kligerman, Irwin, Bodine, Childress. Is that position for LaJoy too? Is LaJoy actually in the mix? Yeah, top 10.
So.
Oh, we go from having...
All right, Friday, let's do this again.
Go from having two two-tone cars in the lead to a monotone car. Not for long. Kligerman back to the front. That seems like it's taken him forever to get back up to the lead.
Yeah, let's see if he relinquishes it at all. Now that he has it again.
What's fascinating is we went from a 6-car fight for the lead to now about an 8 or 9-car fight for the lead since the restart. Coo Coo. Man, Coo Coo's running a very interesting line on this track. It seems to be the fastest way around the track. he's flirting with putting up his best lap time at 29.5. His best lap at 29.441. That lap was a 6:03, so not as fast as his faster laps. Still a full 10th off the fastest lap. Down to 86, 84 laps to go now. Or 94, my bad. 94 laps, 9 cars all within striking distance of the lead. Kenny Irwin fighting for third here. Feels like it's kind of the calm before the storm right now. "90 laps will definitely be one more pit stop before the finish of this one. There's no telling, though, if we get another caution, it's going to keep these guys in good position to all fight for the win all the way to the finish. Past Bodine in 9th, you've got Matt DiBenedetto in 10th, Mike Skinner, JJ Yaley, Scott Riggs, Scott Wimmer, Jason Leffler, Jimmy Means, Buckshot Jones on the lead lap, and Dave Blaney, it looks like the last of our lead lappers. Oh wait, goes further back to the 84 of Dick Trickle, and the 76 of Ben Arnold. Ben Arnold, with the significant damage that he has, still running competitive laps, as amazing as that is. 30.6, if you compare that up to the last lap run by Kligerman, and it's 29.9, just short of a second off the leader. Still seconds off the leader, but not more than one. He's still going to be able to probably put together a top 25, if not the top 20 where he's running right now. Kenny Irwin flirting with the lead here, giving Kligerman a bit of concern. Kligerman has been our, I think, top leader here today so far. If not him, the 42 of Robbins, likely in a close second. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. I know the holiday season is basically tomorrow at this point, but I'm really glad to have a few of you tuned in watching. Gonna have a new winner of the drivers racing here today. Last year we saw Jeffrey Earnhardt stamp his win, and still within, suitable range that we could see any of these 9 drivers at the front win it here today still.
I am back, Jacob.
Welcome back. Yeah, this Atlanta track has actually provided us with some good racing action. I would not be opposed to if we wanted to do like a throwback or something in the Cup Series to come to this track in particular. Heck, that might be kind of fun to actually just toy with the schedule as it is and try to find
Few
random
retro
years.
track.
Yeah. I like trying to keep the aesthetic of making it seem real as we do, giving it the aesthetic, putting on the facade that it's a real series. So maybe not in the Cup Series, but it'd be kind of cool to do it in maybe like the trucks or even the Bridge to Cup.
Could
Doing
arrange
some,
something like that for Bridge to Cup.
yeah.
I mean, we are only doing a few bigger ovals, so
Yeah, I'm weird that way with my Cup Series. I do not even want to host. I don't even want to host non-sanctioned races. If even a practice session seems like I'm cheating fate with it, because it's like, oh, this could be someone winning, but it's just a practice race. Anyone else that has my car numbers or car set, I don't mind, because it's up to them. It's on their computer, but for me, it's sacred ground that my computer only runs one race per race and nothing in between. Fairgrounds, Richmond Fairgrounds? So yep, you heard it here first. There might be some retro races to be had in the future. Thankfully, that's something that we can pull off with NR2003. Marty Robbins now under attack by Kenny Irwin. It seems like those two have been duking it out back and forth. It's only allowing for Kligerman to keep his advantage in the lead. Oh, whoa, whoa, that was a slick move by Marty Robbins. Made quick work of the passover maneuver. And what were 9 cars looks to be down to about 6 again. But kind of a different 6 than what we're used to. Obviously, Kligerman and Robbins. Kenny Irwin is a new one added to that mix. Hassler has been there all day. Coo Coo Marlin's been pretty consistent. So has Richard Childress. But then you've got Buddy Arrington still holding on solidly in the top 10. Todd Bodine, Randy LaJoy, and Matt DiBenedetto even making a resurgence here at the end.
it's been a pretty good race so far.
Yeah. Ooh, we got the lead change yet again as Kligerman gets passed by Marty Robbins.
And Kenny Irwin and Friday Hassler. Lies, Chaz. They would use the new DeLorean that they made. And nobody'd question where the heck the main protagonist got the money for a brand new DeLorean.
Most people that would be viewing this race right now I'm sure don't know of Marty Robbins' music and stuff. But the only thing I could, I guess, pinpoint that culture has allowed or has enlightened the youth to Marty Robbins would be Fallout New Vegas, because they have Marty Robbins as one of the songs inside the game, Fallout New Vegas. So, in a way, I think even if people don't know, I mean that might give people, at least some of the kids that aren't very knowledgeable on their old country music, an idea of Marty Robbins. Of course, I'm making myself sound like an old fart talking like that.
Kenny Irwin coming on strong late in this race, too.
Ooh, Kenny Irwin. There's a move for the lead. Irwin takes that position. Five cars all packed together here. Friday Hassler, Parker Kligerman, and Coo Coo Marlin. Richard Childress
still in the mix, too. Back there in 6th.
Buddy Arrington just kind of chilling out back there in 7th. Likely will need a caution to help get back towards the front of this one. Yeah, these guys at the front, we're seeing the long run advantage kicking in here. Seems like the drivers with the long run setup, these have been our 5 that have had that advantage so far. Top 2 drivers in led most laps has got to be Kligerman and Marty Robbins so far. Friday Hassler is probably our 3rd highest. He's been all up there the whole race. So with that in mind, I know that it seems like Marty Robbins has, otherworldly, and I don't know if there's bias towards that. If I had something when I was making the ratings, I can't even remember what I did yesterday, but there could potentially be a little bit of a skew on the ratings just because country musician wins race what kind of thing.
Don't open the curtain. Come on now.
No, it's I mean, the ratings are pretty much based off of what I would predict those drivers to have in today's equipment. And the funny thing is, we're seeing a lot of trends from last year developing this year. There's a lot of drivers that are strong. And I mean, our winner last year was kind of a surprise. I don't think Jeffrey Earnhardt led very many laps. I wouldn't say he lucked upon it either, because he earned it most definitely. It was kind of an out of nowhere That's why I had me and James pick our dark horse pick, because you never know where the winner might come in this race.
I was just gonna ask you, speaking of dark horse, how has Scott managed to shake out after now that we've settled in?
Well, he's not at the back half here with the lap traffic, so that's a good sign. Still moving through the field. 52 there of Jimmy Means. That's a lead lap car in 16th. 15th is Scott Wimmer. 14th, Mike Skinner. Looks like he's in 11th, so almost up to the top 10. And his competition's basically the lead crew that's running all in the top 10 right now. Wow, DiBenedetto kind of coming from nowhere here, catching up to the
After
leaders.
threading the needle for that last caution.
Yeah, he could have been on the tow truck, but instead trying to get into the top 10 with a potential shot at winning it all. Oh, they're putting Arnold a lap down now.
I was just gonna ask if he was a lap down or was on the lead lap.
Yeah, Friday Hassler is one of those drivers that probably, if his career could have been extended, he would have gotten a win. The fact that he split the ride with Glotzback in the 1971 Volunteer 500 at Bristol, and in recovery won the second half of that race, not credited with the win per the rules. I think he only went on to race about one more year and ended up in a fatal crash. So, yeah,
Coo Coo
Hassler.
Marlin on really hard on the back bumper of Kenny Irwin there.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. It just looked like he was about to dump him.
Well, this might be a morbid statement. Do you want me to do the unfiltered morbid statement I'm thinking in my head?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, Kligerman getting up to fourth changes that statement a little bit anyways, so. Kenny Irwin. I mean, it's not very, like, it's not disturbing, but it's just concerning. Well, our top three is all dead. They're not really living anymore, but they're the strongest on the field. They're whooping even the living drivers right now. It was the top four when I was going to first make the statement. I was going to say, damn, 4/5 of our top five. Well, still 4/5 still, because he's still in fifth. Not amongst the living anymore. Only in NR2003 can you see a race with drivers that are no longer living.
Gotta love NR.
Well, and with the second year in our books, we can start our own little tally of the drivers that won it while they were still alive and the drivers that were able to, you know, come back from the dead to win it. Marty Robbins really stretching that lead out here on Kenny Irwin. And we're closing in on nearly 58 laps to go now. So really, it's going to get down to crunch time here. One more round of green flag pit stops will pretty much cement any more pit strategy in the game. Yeah, that's kind of my hopes to doing this the way I did it was to more so pay homage. I know some people might be a little bit finicky to, say, oh yeah, let's put Adam Petty in a race car again, and I mean it's not like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, James, don't
You're
you?
doing it. Yeah, you're doing it for noble reason.
Yeah, it's not like I'm trying to. Yeah, it's more paying homage and even giving them that one more shot at possibly getting a victory, and then you could put a neat little ribbon on it and say, yeah, they did it. Zombie Marty. That was probably the only Fallout game that I played pretty hardcore. It's impressive in the game. You can actually, I'm pretty sure you can pinpoint Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the geography of the game.
Really?
Yeah, it's very, very faint, but if you know your geography of Las Vegas, my dad pointed it out. It's like, yeah, that kind of feels like, Nellis Air Force Base, and that if that's the Air Force Base, then that should be the racetrack right there.
Huh.
You can confirm, Brian, about that they actually have kind of a Easter egg of sorts that Vegas's racetrack is there. I think that's what he meant by saying he heard that. So yeah, no, there's probably an Easter egg of sorts that we found before we even knew about it as being an Easter egg. So
Can't confirm it, but he's heard the same thing.
Mm-hmm. No, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
They actually went to the trouble of making it accurate. I mean, obviously a post-apocalyptic rendition of it all, but yeah, no, geography in the game feels pretty realistic. So Marty Robbins under attack now by Kenny Irwin. Irwin closing that gap. I believe that we're probably going to see green flag pit stops, handful of laps here.
Do me a favor real quick. Oh, never mind. We're going to see our first pit stop right now.
And this will be the undercut. I think Marty Robbins might be onto something being the first one to pit, as he will be... Man, it'll be close. It'll be 48 laps to go. So,
Do me a favor.
What do you got?
Let's take while everybody's getting ready to come down pit road. Let's real quick go take a look at the garage, see what it says for a fuel mileage.
Gotcha. Yeah, everyone's coming down, so it's right at the window. Garage, right?
Mm-hmm.
66 laps.
So everybody should be able to make it from here. Right? Yeah. Oh, and we've got a car.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh no! Wow, during green flag pit stops, this is gonna make things...
This is gonna shake things up right here.
What was the caution for? Ooh, it was a necessary caution, but wow. 38 of David Gilliland. Was he coming to pit road? He was coming to pit road and tried to
Decided
commit
way too late to come.
right over the nose of JD McDuffie. Well, he still made it to pit road, but brought out the caution in the act, so. Okay, we're gonna have to get creative with the wave rounds now.
Well, let's let it sort out, because everybody's going to pit.
Wow, Marty Robbins might actually, but he's gonna have to pit again. I think he's one lap down in 12th. Yeah, so it'll force him to come back down pit road, and he'll
No, he
stay.
just pit. He just
Yes,
pit the lap before,
but
so he's not going to pit.
the AI will probably force it to pit again, is my guess. We'll
I don't
see.
think so. I think it might be smart enough to know that he pitted literally the lap before the caution came out.
Well, yeah, there's no reason to pit again if you're good to go with fuel mileage, so we'll just give them a true wave around here. It stays out, stays out. Okay. Oh, the 11 of Leffler having a mechanical woe there. The 11, 56% damage to that engine, so I think that's a race ender for
All right.
him.
You want to pull up the thing, and then
Yep.
then I can tell you numbers? All right.
So I should wave around the guys that are 1 minute off. Yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It'll work. Wave. It's not going to give them first, is it?
No, it's just going to put them to the back.
It'll just put them around the pace car. Okay.
Yeah. And then 67, 31, 18, 22, and 84. And then one lap down is the 30. But
10, 22, 84. Okay, and then the 30. We'll go ahead and wave the 30 around too.
okay, and then the rest sort themselves. Uh-oh.
Whoa, 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 whoa. He's going to get smart though, and he'll slow up. Oh, yeah, he's just going to get screwed, kind of. Screwed into starting on the outside lane with the lead lap cars. Oh well, I think it'll pan out. Or it'll end in a wreck. We'll see.
See what happens.
Yeah, I should have added a pace lap. I tried to do that a little bit haphazardly. Yeah, basically he's going to start right where he would have started on the inside line, just middle of the 3 wide.
Should be fine.
So, with the restart here, it's Kenny Irwin with the lead. Friday Hassler, Coo Coo Marlin, and Parker Kligerman. The big upset here, though, is the fact that our... Oh, what is it doing? They had to slow up for whatever reason before the restart. Okay. We might have to throw a true caution here if they don't get sorted better, but we'll let them race. And perhaps the caution will come out naturally here.
Yeah, maybe.
Friday Hassler giving Kenny Irwin a fight here for the lead. Coo Coo Marlin in third. Parker Kligerman in fourth. Here comes Friday Hassler.
And Coo Coo Marlin.
Yet again, the wave around treats them as not adhering to the rules, and it forces them down pit road. Yeah, Marty Robbins is gonna stay out. Okay. That's what I've noticed with the wave round is people come down and pit like they were made an illegal move on track or something. Coo Coo Marlin to the lead with a good push from Parker Kligerman. "13 cars still on the lead lap. Kligerman going to the lead here, as we've got just around 37 laps to go now. Todd Bodine in 5th. Matt DiBenedetto creeping his way up towards the front here. Think about it, Matt DiBenedetto, definitely one of the drivers that probably almost wouldn't have ended up here. He had quite a few opportunities with the Wood brothers, and then even when he moved on to that 95 car, which basically became a satellite team for Gibbs, that he could have had a win, but it just didn't materialize.
Well, he had a few good opportunities. Just some things just didn't go quite right for him.
Wow, ran his fastest lap that time, a 29.413. New fastest lap belongs to Parker Kligerman. So they've been saving their good stuff right for the final push here at the end. Fastest lap of a 364, which Marty Robbins also had a 29.364. Not very often you see a tie for the fastest lap. What do you say? Should we throw a caution so that Marty Robbins has at least one more opportunity to get in the mix? What do you think?
Give him a good 28 lap stretch with no caution, with no
So maybe
chance of
throw it at about lap 297. That way you got 3 laps under pacing and 28 lap shootout. Okay.
Let's do it.
Coo Coo Marlin to the lead again. Pole position has basically been everywhere today, towards the back to the front. His chart probably looks like that of a heart monitor.
I think at one point he was a lap down too.
Yeah, or really close to it. We'll go ahead and throw it now. It'll be right when they come to the line. Kligerman's going to take the lead back here, racing to the caution flag. Coo Coo Marlin is going to slot back into second here. Third, Friday Hassler. Fourth, Kenny Irwin. And fifth, Richard Childress. I'll go ahead and add a pace lap. Ooh, 12 ended up with wheel damage.
So, them?
So we'll try this one more time and give everyone at least a fair shot to race for it at the end here.
$31. 010. And 22.
And I think the fact that the caution lights turned out last time was why they stopped. They hadn't caught the back of the field, and so it freaked them out, and they had to basically adhere to pace lap speed at that point. So looks like we should be able to get it all sorted this time without any weirdness going on. Pace
Scott Riggs
lights.
is gonna get one more chance.
I wish I could make it standard without the lap traffic. Just do a single file restart and no lap traffic.
Turn off double file restarts.
Can I do that mid-race though?
Oh, no.
Yeah, the problem was I set it up at the initial setup of the race with double file. So unfortunately, just the way the cookie crumbles. Yep, they caught up. Okay, perfect. They're right at the tail end here with Buddy Arrington, Jeff Green, Mike Skinner, Scott Riggs, and Scott Wimmer. Scott and Scott. Just like earlier we had Mike, or was it
I just realized Mike and
yeah, Mike.
Scott and Scott.
Michael, Max. Apart from the few names that do have, matching pairs, there really is a lot of unique names in this group. You got Cuckoo,
It
you got
really is.
Friday, Friday, Cuckoo. Parker sounds like a racer's name, but you'd rather be called Winner rather than Parker. Buckshot Jones is always a cool one, just because
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one.
birth given name of Buckshot. That's very unique. Which I imagine that's his actual birth given name. Buckshot, is that actually his, like, on his birth certificate, Buckshot Jones?
Go. What's going on with our back cars there?
They're catching up. Should be right at the tail end with them. Oh, it's doing that again? What the hell? It's the same problem as last time. They just don't get going, which is weird. Well, we tried, but at least it'll give Marty Robbins. And honestly, this might be a fair. I mean, that's about the deficit that they were. Buckshot is actually Roy Norris Jones. So yes, we've got 13 cars all at the front of the field here to finish it off. 13 cars with a shot at the win.
Jazz is right. Here we go.
And yeah, so since we don't have better cautions, there is no green-white checkers here today. This race could end under caution if we've got a wreck that happens at just the right time. I can try within all my power to take pace laps away, but I can't guarantee the authenticity of a finish like that, so... And we're all for trying to have an authentic race here. So, really, the only one that's on the lead lap fighting for this right now is the 14 of Coo Coo Marlin. Lap cars are really kind of putting an added wrinkle to the end of this one.
They really are. They're not giving these guys much room at all to try to get by.
Richard Childress might have an opportunity here to get up into second. But other than that, Kligerman...
Stop adding lap cars in front of him.
Kligerman's really kind of driving away with it at the moment. Marty Robbins back up into the top 10. He's desperately fighting to find positions that are just not materializing. Trying to find openings to get through the crowded lap traffic at the front of the field. Totally right. Yeah, the finishing statistic is in full force right now. These drivers that have the higher finishing stat are showing their muscle where it matters the most. There we go, Kenny Irwin working his way through all the lap traffic. Now Kenny Irwin's got clear track in front of him to try and catch up to Parker Kligerman. Coo Coo Marlin. Wow, it seems like it was looking at one point that Richard Childress was going to slot up to second, but Childress falls back to about where he was running in 5th or 6th. Yeah, here we go. I don't think Kligerman's got the speed that these guys have. And perhaps even losing the draft is starting to sway him a little bit here. Coo Coo Marlin getting up to second. However, the more they fight, the harder they fight, though, for position, the less likely they will be to catch up to Kligerman.
Come to 20 laps to go here.
Marty Robbins struggling a little bit. He's at the longest line of lead lap traffic. 13th, 3.8 seconds back. Keep that one ticker up in the corner so that everyone else can see the deficits. .25 to Coo Coo Marlin. Is there anything else that's standing out to you, James?
Not a lot right now. Just seems like as soon as they get by that lap traffic, they start to gain a little bit. As we see Richard Childress and Matt DiBenedetto get past the final lap down car to catch up to the back of Bodine.
Impressive from Jimmy Means to be in the top 10 here in the closing laps. Dave Blaney running 10th.
Somebody was on pit road there. Gap down to a second almost.
Oh, the 77 have gone coming off the pit road. Yep, Yep, so it's going to be between at least the top 3 from what I can see. Possibly even De Benedetto trying to sneak his way into the picture here. 15 to go. Looking like it's going to be right around the 3-hour mark for the duration of this race. And like mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, this is kind of a throwback to the season championship finale of old, where NASCAR used to close out their championship at Atlanta for the 500 miler. And well, it's going to end up closing out all of our racing action here on the YouTube channel. Won't have any more racing to broadcast until January and February, so couldn't be done without having a following, a fan base that tunes in and watches it. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Hopefully you have a very Merry Christmas or any other holidays that you're celebrating. Happy holidays. We still got a battle here brewing. I think we're going to have a good old-fashioned closing lap battle here.
Yeah, I got a feeling these 3 are gonna duel it out to sort it out at the end here.
Marlin, our pole setter, has been there all day. Friday Hassler has definitely hassled the field. Parker Kligerman has been hard to beat. That's for sure.
He seems to be keeping that gap at about the same distance.
Oh, Marlin's mixing it up here, trying a different line. You can see the advantage he's gaining, running kind of the middle line there.
Ooh, we cut it in half there.
10 laps.
Hassler down to a second now.
Ooh, the 28 of Irwin now back into the mix, getting by the 21 of De Benedetto. The 42 of Marty Robbins too, up into 9th again. At this point, I don't think you're going to get the win from 9th here. You're going to have to be somewhere in the top 5. But crazier things can happen. We saw a lot of hustle and bustle from, I think it was Marty Robbins earlier in the race that was just blown by people left and right.
It was.
I don't know if lap traffic's going to become a factor. Not looking to be a huge factor. Teague, really the only one considerably that could be a problem.
Go. Kligerman's got company now.
If these two get side by side, it could really mix things up. We don't have to watch the gap anymore. We know how close this is going to get. And I'll just have to keep an eye on the lap counter in the stream now. Marty Robbins has the clear track. He just needs to find an extra gear to get through the rest of the field. While the leaders are running about 0.2 faster than him. It's going to be tall order for him to deliver. Looks like 5 laps this time by. Friday Hassler still kind of closing that gap. I think Coo Coo Marlin's going to be fighting for making it a battle for the lead here shortly.
I'm starting to wonder if that lap car might come into play here soon.
Roughly about 2 seconds slower than him. It's going to be right there on the cusp. He's going to be under attack here in just another lap or two.
That might allow Hassler what he needs to get up to these two.
It's going to depend on where they catch the lap traffic. If they get Teague in the middle of a corner, I think Hassler is going to find a golden egg here. Or even if these two get side by side and then catch the lap traffic, that could make things pretty helter-skelter. Kligerman's going to catch him on the straightaway, so that was best case scenario for Kligerman. The rest of them are going to have to work and navigate around him as well. And that actually ended up hurting Hassler a little bit, as the two of them were actually able to kind of gain a draft off, it looks like, to get a little bit more momentum on third place. 2 laps to go now. That would be pretty exciting if we can make a last lap pass for the victory here. Being
Flag this time by.
a little bit difficult, though. It looks like Kligerman's keeping his own. Yep, 327 of 328, so 2 more laps remain. It'll be white flag this time by. And I don't think the lap traffic there is going to be much of an issue either. So it's down to Coo Coo Marlin and Parker Kligerman. White flag waving in the air.
Cuckoo's going to make something happen. It's going to have to be coming onto the backstretch here.
Ooh, he's got to push. He's trying to push as hard as he can there. Kligerman not letting him get up beside him. Coo Coo.
He's going to tuck it down deeper on the bottom, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Parker Kligerman's going to get the win here today.
Kligerman pulls off the victory. Coo Coo wanted just to get up alongside him. I think give him more of a celebratory bump there. See, this might be one of those few things that ages like milk down the line, if you think about it. Kligerman could still work his way up into a cup start. He's very much still active and racing, and who knows if maybe he lands himself in a fill-in ride. Maybe, say, Chase Elliott on surgery or down on injury, and oh yeah, we're gonna pull Parker Kligerman in and gets a win in the 9 car. That would defunct my whole series here. But even De Benedetto is still racing in this, so congratulations to Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, congratulations, Parker Kligerman. It was a really good race for him. He led, I think, probably the most laps today.
Yeah, I think it's easily the fastest car, the most dominant car won it here today. He had fastest lap, led most laps, and really just kind of put on a clinic. Kind of bummed that Marty Robbins came up short again. Friday Hassler, he's a contender for next year.
Yeah, that was a good performance by him.
Coo Coo Marlin being the first year in it and sets on pole, finishes second, so you can't complain about that.
Not at all.
And so, yeah, we've got next season to look forward to. I'm excited for everything we got going. I think it'll be fun to see what you got with the Bridge to Cup series, having it in your control. That'll be cool.
I think it'll be fun to see how we all intertwine and work.
Mm-hmm. That alone, just seeing the race standing screen there is worth a lot. Well, I know it was a long, grueling race. I'm glad you were in the booth with me on that one, James.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me again, as always.
I'm just glad the racing was at least competitive and there was some good action at the front of the field. Now I'm
Yeah,
gonna
felt like the race was racy all race long.
right?
Sounds
Yeah,
like it's a funny sentence to say, but it makes sense.
right. Nope. So we've got the foundation built to host this race every year. Maybe next year on December 23rd again, or however the dice may roll. So anything you wanted to close out on?
This was a fun race. It's been a fun year here on the channel. We've had a lot of good racing all season long, all year long, and I'm looking forward to all we have to give to everybody next year.
Heck yeah. No, happy holidays, everyone. Stay safe out there. Glad you guys could tune in and check out the race. And our next race on the calendar will be the end of January for the USA Trucks Western Division. And then on to the Bridge to Cup season opener, which is we're still trying, I think, getting schedules finalized there, but those should be up.
It'll be announced on where the season opener for that will be.
Where
To be decided.
To be decided. Okay. So yeah,
To be announced and to be decided.
we'll probably have that up probably within the next week or two, maybe after New Year's or so. But yeah, thank you everyone. Congratulations to Parker Kligerman, and I guess since this is kind of closing out 2023, congratulations yet again to the Courting brothers on their truck championships. Congratulations to Al Bunch on the Busch Championship. And above them all, Atlee Weiss winning the Sylvania Cup Series, not Sprint, Sylvania Cup Championship. So, on to 2024 we roll. Thanks again, everyone. Couldn't do it without all of y'all. So, happy holidays, happy new year. Stay safe, and hopefully you get what you wanted for Christmas. This is Jakester and James signing out.
Later.